welcome back to That Dad Guy. It's April the 17th, 2023. It's spring. It's 16 degrees outside. It feels so nice. I'm in a t-shirt. No more sweaters, or at least not today anyways. Tomorrow the temperature may dip down again. I think it's going to rain, but we won't worry about that today. Today is nice. And today we're going to talk about some postage stamps from Canada. Well, not really Canada. Canada before Canada, if that makes sense. I live in the province of New Brunswick in Canada. But before there was a Canada in 1867, there was the colony of New Brunswick. And we put out postage stamps. We actually put out 11 postage stamps while we were a colony. The first one came out in 1851. And there was 3 different ones you'll see. In the book, I'm going to put up images of them up here. In the book, it shows that they had a 1 and a 1A, because we had a red and we had a dark red stamp. And then we had 2 and 3, which were the olive yellow and then kind of a purpley one. I'm sure there's a specific color for that one there, lavender or something or other. But we used those 3 stamps, those images, for 11 years. No, 9 years, from 1851 to 1860. And then we put out some more stamps, the final 7, I guess. And among those, we had the first railway stamp and the first steam stamp, or steam engine and steam boat stamps that had ever been put on postage stamps before. New Brunswick holds that claim to fame. I'm going to put those images up here now. I keep looking down because I've got this book here. This is my father's book. Just flip it the right way around here. NFLD stands for Newfoundland, NB stands for New Brunswick, PEI is Prince Edward Island, and NS is Nova Scotia. And this is where he put his stamps from those areas in. And he has a page. Only takes 1 page when you're talking about New Brunswick. He has this page here. So he doesn't have those initial 3 stamps from 1851, but he does have these stamps. Except for this one, and I'm going to talk about this one after. It is the rare one. But you can see here is the first steam-powered engine stamp and the steamboat stamp, claim to fame for New Brunswick, that we put them on postage stamps. Now, we had a postmaster. His name was Charles Connell. And let me just flip over here real quick. There. Charles Connell was our postmaster. He was born in 1810 in Northampton. Now, Northampton, New Brunswick, not Northampton, England. His parents were loyalists that fled during the American Revolution and settled in New Brunswick. And so he was born here. And he elevated into politics in 1846, serving on the colony's legislative assembly and in the House of Assembly. And he became the Postmaster General in 1858. And in 1858, he did something silly. He put his own image on a postage stamp. I'm going to put that up here too. And that got him fired, basically. He said he'd buy up all the postage stamps, and he lit them all on fire that had his image on them. And he was replaced. The next one that came out was the one that had the image of the Queen on it, Queen Victoria. And he basically lost his job for doing something silly like that. Now, he did continue to serve in politics after that incident. He went on when Canada became a country and New Brunswick was a province. Then he served as the member for Carleton, and he served 2 elections, actually, before he was done. And then he passed away in 1873. So that's his little claim to fame there. Now, there's more history to it, but this isn't a video about him. It was just a funny fact that we had a postmaster who was so egotistical that he put himself on the 5-cent stamp, and it caused great outrage. Now, he did, like I said, burn as many as he could, but some survived. A few dozen are still out there. And if you have one and you don't want one, you could certainly send it along. It's not in my father's collection, but they're a bit pricey. So I can imagine you not wanting to part with them. And same with those initial 3 that came out in 1851, or initial 4, if you're talking about the red and the dark red. Those aren't in my father's collection either. He didn't manage to find those either. Now, the other interesting stamp that I'm going to put up as well is those of you who are interested in King Edward VII, excuse me, you might not have this stamp in your collection. When King Edward was still Prince of Wales, we put up this stamp that shows him in his tartan garb. He was going to come to the colonies and visit in 1860, so they put out a stamp, a 17-cent stamp with his image in his tartan garb. And so yeah, you might not have a Prince Edward stamp in your collection, but if you do, it looks like this. And my father does have that one in his collection, right there. So I thought that was interesting that New Brunswick had those 11 stamps. I was also pleased to see that my father had most of them. So I was able to show you some of them and put up the bigger images so you could see them with ones of Queen Victoria and the Prince and the Postmaster. And of course the history about New Brunswick being the first place to put out postage stamps that had an image of a steam train and a steam ship. I didn't know that until I did the research too, so kind of interesting. Now, I thought what I might do in the future is go through and show you some of the others. Now, Newfoundland has a lot more stamps because they were a independent colony for a lot longer. They didn't join Confederation into Canada until the late 40s, 1940s that is, and they were the last province to do so. So they have some more stamps. Nova Scotia, like New Brunswick, only has a few stamps, so I'll be able to show you a couple of those. Prince Edward Island has a few stamps, so yeah, I think that'll be interesting to show. There was another, like British Columbia and Vancouver Island put out stamps. My father doesn't have any of those, so I may have to do just images if we're going to talk about those in the future. If that's something you're interested in, we'll do that. And yeah, I hope you liked it. It was an informative thing for me to research. I did it on the fly. I was looking, should I do the next series of Canadian stamps where I've gotten to, or should I go back? I saw this binder and I thought I had to do this. And when I heard some of the great stories I was researching about the Postmaster, I thought it'd be fun to share it. So hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully you are off to a great week this week. Monday is now in the books here. We'll see what the rest of the week has in store for us, but I'm sure that I'll be talking to you soon, so have a magical week. What, Polo? You say like, subscribe, share, and tell all your friends?
Who's a good boy? Who's a good boy?
Bye.